Welcome to this Movieplex theater. Patrons are reminded that this is a no-smoking area. Patrons are also advised that talking during the performance is prohibited. And all electronic equipment must be switched off. The consumption of alcoholic beverages is strictly forbidden. But we'd like to remind patrons that a full range of refreshments is available in the theater lobby. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the film.
Welcome to 2024, where everything is kicking off at Dino-Defender Land, aka the Terradome. I'm just going to make sure sound level's alright. I think it's okay like this. I just want it in the background, basically. Looks good to me. Happy New Year all. First stream of the year. And look, we're having some fun. Look at this. Oh yeah. Yeah, hopefully it won't be like the horrendous sound levels like last time that meant I couldn't archive the stream because it was unwatchable. Happy New Year, Gary, Krask. Welcome. Right, so we're going to do some colouring in of these characters. I don't know how long I'm going to be online for today. Just a little bit. I had a little gap in my schedule, so I thought, why not just jump on for a little bit. And yeah, doing something I think many people have been wondering about the series. And I figured, you know what, I will stream this, showing this, because the streams aren't like massively popular with people watching. So I like to give people who come to the streams a bit of an exclusive peek behind the curtain. So, shh, you did not see this. No, it's funny though. When I was working on episode 4 of this series, I was animating the Megaraptor versus Kentrosaurus fight around the time that we had our first baby. And now I'm animating this, and my wife is ready to give birth to our second any day now. So we are just waiting, playing the waiting game. So it's funny how history repeats itself in a way. Hello Sam. Says, hey Terradome. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Happy New Year, and yes, Megaraptor versus Megalosaur. One question, would Chaos Effect be your favourite thing in the whole Jurassic Park franchise? No, far from it. Far from it. My favourite thing in the Jurassic Park franchise, my ultimate favourite thing, I would say, is the first movie. I was going to say book. Maybe the first book. Book and movie. Those two equal. Where it all began, man. Where it all began. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to go off grid for a little while. That's also why things have sort of been slowing down quite a bit on this channel. But don't worry. Things will continue properly. I've nearly completed collecting all of the Jurassic Magic cards, and I want to do an actual Pterodome episode featuring those. So you'll have to look out for that video in the near future. How's the music level? Like, you can probably hear me alright, but is the music coming through just nicely in the background? Danaman says, I'm thinking my Joshing becomes a scientist for Biosyn and works with Darius or something. There's no way we play as her, only to kill her off at the end. I don't even think they're going to bring Darius into Jurassic Park Survivor. Darius wasn't even born in 1993. Music could be raised up a little bit, alright. How's that? Ooh, I accidentally opened up Premiere Pro. Oh, come on. There we go. Gary5 says, so now you're pinning Megalosaurus against the Megaraptor. I've been clamoring about this since 19. Yeah. Like that. I'm a King Kong fan, right? The original King Kong. I'm a Jurassic Park fan. Of course I want to see the big monster dinosaurs duke it out. Why not? This is my bread and butter, man. This is where I come to play. I've got a sort of overall idea of where I want them to go on screen and what I want them to do. But I'm sort of making up as I go along. And if you can see here, let me show you guys. So they're obviously much bigger over there than what they should be, but that's because the camera's going to start over here and follow them from behind the building, and then you're going to see Jess and Mia sort of running off to the side. So scale, like getting actual correct scales, you know, not something I'm worrying about too much. So I'm sort of playing around with it. What looks the best. I just realised something as well. I've got to finish this. Oh no, I've locked that layer. Finish this little drain pipe. I'll just get some light grey. I will admit it's been cool coming back to the town area in the series. This area. Right. What are you guys saying? This is the real M&M. Hello, Saurian bot. Doing good. Hello, Ryan. Hello, Pterodome. Sorry if this has been asked before. Are you planning on doing more Black Sack episodes? It's one of my favourite series on YouTube. I've been missing them. I mean, yes. Obviously, it all comes down to time because Black Sack takes ages to edit. But it's also just timing with Will, because that's who I like to do the episodes with. I'll see how it goes because we're about to have a new baby, so I'm going to be taking a bit of a break anyway. But the Black Sack is still there, still full of DVDs we've not watched. So I'm always open to bringing it back. It's just timing and yeah. So I was kind of hoping to do an episode with some other people, like just bring on guests and see what they have to say. Obviously they physically need to be here, and many of my friends are busy with their own families and stuff. So, but I'll do my best to try and bring it back in some capacity. Mesmerizing watching it all come together. Well, thank you. You're slowly watching me colour in and probably paint in such a way that would make people who do AI art go, well, all I do is write in a couple of words and it instantly appears. You spend your time doing tiny little squares and colouring them in individually. And there'll be even people who use Photoshop and painting who are like, why isn't he doing this shortcut on the keyboard? Or why isn't he, doing it this way or that way? You know what I say? Do it my way. So it's my way or the highway. I'm living it up, not giving a fuck. Living life on the fast lane. This one goes out to you, Ben Stiller. You are my favourite motherfucker. I told you, didn't I? You know, drama makes the world go around. Anyone got a problem with that? My business. Your business. Who's guilty? Can I get a witness? First things first. Chocolate Starfish is my man Fred Durst. Access Hollywood License to Kill. A redneck fucker from Jacksonville. Hello, Mr. Shoemaker Man. I gotta show you guys this frame I worked on the other day. Where is it? Yeah, check this out. Look, watch this. Yeah. I did do the shells dropping. I wondered if I did. Didn't remember. Ryan says, fair enough, I'll keep an eye out. I found your channel for your Alien Free discussion vid with Matthew Brando. How was it 6 years? How has it been 6 years since then? Oh god, lots has changed. Lots has changed. I've realised that the Pterodome is secretly running the world. Like, through harnessing chaos theory, you know, the butterfly effect and all that, actually getting a hold of the reins of the butterfly effect and then steering it in the direction that I want it to go, I found that the Pterodome actually can have a massive impact on culture. So from this one ship that I'm trapped on, I've managed to move mountains, and it's been pretty fun. I got to, you know, with the aid of a wonderfully talented team of people, work with in shaping the Jurassic lore, as far as we can tell, forever, for the foreseeable future. But right now, Universal has a internal document timeline that they use that was written by myself and Tim, and other details written by the other team members. I may have inadvertently got Elon Musk to put a tweet out the other day. That's a speculation at the moment, but the evidence seems pretty strong that that was the case. We're doing good. We're doing good here. Raising a family, best thing you can ever do, I would say. So rewarding and challenging. But life's beautiful, man. Life's beautiful. Sam says, which prehistoric species would you add if you made your own Jurassic Park film? You know what? I would make one with the Mamenchiasaurus, the adult Baryonyx, the Parasaurolophuses from Jurassic Park, the green ones, the Corymphosaurus, the Spinosaurus, the Microceratus, the Troodons from Jurassic Park the game, and Tyrannosaurus, obviously, would make some sort of appearance. And the Gallimimus. That's what I would do. Try and get all the species that have been on screen a little bit, but exist in the canon. And give them a little bit more time to shine. Because they would feel new to sort of general audiences, you know? Like, general audiences wouldn't give a shit if there's a Mamenchiasaurus on screen. They just see the long neck and think, like, you know, long-necked dinosaur. And they're not invested in too much in, you know, the ins and outs of all what's different about that dinosaur. But the fans would appreciate it, you know? So it's sort of two birds with one stone kind of thing. Marty Gutierrez should be another creature that appears. Now the thing is, I do have in mind, like I give you my list of dinosaurs, but there may be something I'm missing out specifically because I wouldn't want to give away an idea I have that if we ever get the opportunity to work in the future would become a reality, hopefully. But we can only hold out hope at this time. What is it? Only the 3rd of January. Now the good thing about painting like and animating dinosaurs when they're going behind a building is I don't have to finish the actual whole picture of them. Just enough, just what needs to be shown. Which actually saves a lot of time because I don't have to do like all the tail and all that sort of stuff, the legs right. There's going to be dust in the air, the camera's going to be shaking, so all adds to selling the visuals. We just finished this bit off. There's another bit of grey I need to do in the background. The Megalosaurus. I just realised something. That's not the foot of the Megalosaurus. That's the leg of the Megaraptor. It was meant to be spinning really fast and losing its footing. Dingus. Okay. Now, if I merge those layers, but if I get rid of the white, you can actually see gaps that appear all over the place. So just when I think I've got it, go up and tidy up some of these gaps. How much have you gotten done as a whole middle now? How many frames have I got done? Let's have a look. $163. 163 frames. How many were in episode 4? $304. Yeah, still got some ways to go. But what's really good is I've basically worked out. I think I may have mentioned this before in a previous previous live stream, but it's actually been refined even more now. But like the ending events, instead of having, I was gonna have like, you know, 2 or 3 scenes dedicated to certain events before, you know, the end. And then I realized, actually, you know what, I could just condense all of these set pieces into one massive one, which should make the ending more exciting. However, it does present a challenge, as in I need to kind of know what shots I need in what order, or what shots I need, and then I can just make them and then, you know, go from there, sticking them together and then adding any ones I miss. Yeah, that's good. Now we get the lines, and we'll do the next one. Like this fight I'm now working on. I knew I wanted to have them meet at some point, but then it was like 3 days ago. I was like, why don't you just stick it now in here, like where you are painting? Because originally they weren't going to turn up here. So 3 days later, I'm like, yeah, I'll just stick them in there, stick them in this scene, fighting. So why not? Just have them interrupt the moment. Actually, that needs to. Gonna look a bit weird, but we'll get there. So it might look all broken and jagged and a bit of a mess at the moment, this Mega Raptor, in terms of its leg placement. I'm just sort of putting it down quick, and then I can edit it from there. Sam's talking to Gary. Paolo says, I'd be very excited for the next Chaos Film project. Like I wrote on Twitter, I cannot express how well you and the team nailed the placement of the stories you guys came up with. And the stories written tie the JP trilogy to the J-World trilogy cleanly. Thank you. Yes, if only they would pick up the phone. It's not like we're expensive. Literally got nothing to lose, except you know, a talented team. Oh well. Oh well. actually. Need it, like, yeah. See you later, Jurassic Unicast. Thanks for popping in. Motion blur on this guy. Right, and now we get new layout. Actually, I need to tilt it. It's too high up. And obviously back in the early days of Dino-Defenders, I did say that the series was inspired by the likes of Ray Harryhausen and stuff, so he liked his monster fights. And I'm right there with him. Notice you guys are only seeing like half the image, so like if I bring that over like that, should be better for you guys. My stylus has been really weird. Like if I literally twist it with my hands and go down, it will now draw a really thick line. If I literally twist it around so it's the other way, it draws a really thin line. And I don't know how I've done that, but it's like I have to keep like turning the pen in my hand depending on how thick I want the line. Really surreal. Yeah. That sucks. Yeah, it's a bit annoying. It's not as annoying as my laptop, which is like, I've barely used my laptop. Just decided it wasn't going to come on the other night. I was planning on doing some painting to the frame before this one in the house one night. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna paint in the house, stay in the warm, watch a movie, do a bit of painting late at night while everyone was sleeping, and then the laptop was just black screen. So I was like, well, that sucks. I'll get that sorted. So I ended up watching this horrendously shit horror movie called Oliver Twisted. It was dreadful. Just really boring. It wasn't even good dreadful, it was just boring. I had high hopes. I had high hopes because it had this like black cover, really mysterious, no pictures on it. I was like, oh, it's so bad they've like blurred the pictures out, whatever. Curious what it contains, and then I watched it and I was like, this is boring as hell and nothing's happening. So all in all, that night was annoyingly, that sucked. I couldn't paint and I had a bad movie. But apart from that, everything's been great. Gonna get the black sack treatment? No, because it wasn't even funny bad. It was just really boring. So there'd be nothing to talk about that was like of any interest for anyone. It was that bad. That's because basically I got in possession of this Oliver Twisted DVD because the other day I thought, finally I'm gonna get rid of this absolute horrendously big bag of DVDs that I have, that I don't want anymore, of all these movies, you know, all sorts of movies like Transformers: The Last Night, and lots of films that I bought just to check out because I hadn't seen them, and it'd been sitting under my bed for ages. I was like, been meaning to do it, so I finally took it to this shop called Computer Exchange, and in exchange of all these DVDs I got like a £20 voucher thing that they printed off. And then I went upstairs and I just went through and I just looked for like the weirdest crap I could get my hands on to like watch while I'm painting. So far out of that pile I've put 3 of them back because they were shit. 2 of them I've kept. One of them is called Clive Barker's Lord of Illusions, which was an interesting movie. It's like got the same casting agent as Deep Rising because they had a lot of the same cast in it, and that's a wild movie. Disturbing at parts, but also equally shitty. And then I got this one called Horror in the Attic, with Seth Green and Jeffrey Combs from like Reanimator and stuff. And this movie was nuts. This movie was insane. Those 2 I was like genuinely entertained by. So they won out. And then I got... Let's see, this is what's coming up on my list. Okay, so we've got... I've seen a lot of this one, but I wanted to check it out. Death Wish 3, Charles Bronson. This one came on Blu-ray. Bear in mind, all these I got for like £1 or £2 each with my voucher. Swamp Thing DVD. Michael Caine in Shadowrun. But also it's a double disc with Raging Angels. Now, it's actually Raging Angels that caught my attention, because listen to this blurb. Supernatural darkness covers our planet. Invisible demons destroy the youth. The approaching one world government enslaves mankind. But Generation X is ready to do battle. So I read that and I was like, great. I haven't even read the blurb for the Michael Caine one, but I'll still check it out. And then I've never watched any of this series. I'm assuming it's just going to be a load of gumph, but they had 2 of them. They were £1 each. Where's the thing gone? Puppet Master and Puppet Master 2. So I was like, never watched the Puppet Master movies. I don't even know if they're good, bad, whatever. But they're the ones coming up on this. So I swapped loads of DVDs for those DVDs. And I've been watching all of them. There was another one I watched recently as well. Oh, that's it. Can I get the DVD? Come out of the shelf. Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. I'd never seen it. It was weird. Very easy to see that movie as it suggests, with the cameo of the Book of the Dead from Evil Dead and Freddy's glove at the end. You can imagine that the Nightmare on Elm Street, Evil Dead, and Friday the 13th franchises do all exist in the same universe, thanks to that movie. Basically, cut a long story short, been watching loads of crap. Oh, and with my wife, she wanted to watch the new Indiana Jones, so we watched that the other night. And yeah, my opinion has not changed. Although I did put out a tweet about it, because I was like, I really feel like, despite how I don't really like that movie, I still would have liked to have seen it with Spielberg behind the camera. It is missing his magic. See you later, Gary. Yeah, I think it would have just been interesting to see what Spielberg would have done with that story, like visually. If he would have changed bits of like character stuff, or what, how the effects would have looked. Because I don't know if Spielberg would have done the de-aged train sequence. I don't know if he would have done that. I think he might have been like, let's go a different route with this. Maybe recast Indy for that one scene, kind of like how he did in the beginning of Last Crusade. Obviously, Indiana Jones was much younger there. He was like the right age for that sequence in what we see in the movie, but like they could have got someone else, I reckon. But whether Spielberg would have done it, I don't know. But it just would have been interesting. Yeah, it's missing all the magic. Something about the way he uses the camera and stuff. Nah, I don't think Shia LaBeouf would have come back to do it, Big Shark. He's too crazy. He's not crazy. He's a perfectly sane gentleman. It's everyone else who's crazy. Isn't that right, Shia? It's everyone else. It's not you. It's everyone else. Big Chuck says, Disney, just a bunch of cowards these days. These days? I mean, I have been enjoying the whole Steamboat Willie scenario. Because it's been so funny to see Mickey Mouse suddenly become this free-thinking character. Let's put it that way. Like, I saw the people complaining about like how they've already made like a horror film with Mickey Mouse. Like, they knew that it was going to go public domain, so they made a horror film. It's like, you know what? I welcome it. I'm not going to watch it, but I welcome that people can just take this iconic character and now do what they want with it. Because everything's going to enter public domain at some point. It's a shame we won't be around to see the Jurassic Park go public domain. I'll probably be in my hundreds by that time that happens, if I live that long. But it's not just the horror aspect for when it comes to Mickey Mouse that I've been enjoying. It's the political aspect as well. Because obviously Disney has a lot of controversies around it when we're talking about their involvement in like the political spheres. So to see their beloved Mickey Mouse being now freely available for anyone to make money off, you know, I've seen him used in like computer games where like he'll turn up and shoot people and stuff. And so he'd been like 3 days. Obviously, people were working on those things for a while when Mickey Mouse wasn't in public domain. I don't know if there's some legal loophole there for Disney to be like, well, you were making this during the time when he wasn't public domain and you were paying people to make him. I don't know if they're going to be that scummy and go after people like that, but yeah, it has been fun. I welcome our new Mickey Mouse. He's had a sudden pivot on all his political positions I've seen online over the last 48 hours. Mickey has turned into a very interesting character indeed. Yeah, JP Novel will go into public domain, I think, in our lifetime. Yeah, they've got a patent on the latest Mickey. I saw someone put out a chart of all the years that the different iterations of Mickey are going to go into public domain. And someone was making a joke that it's like DLC. It's like a gaming DLC. Like every 20 years or so, we're going to download a new Mickey Mouse into the public domain that everyone can fuck around with, basically. Professor says, I've never liked Mickey Mouse and always found him to have the most annoying voice in cartoon history. Yeah. I was about to say, I like him in the Sorcerer's Apprentice, but I don't think he speaks at all in that one, so... Oh no, he does in Fantasia, doesn't he? Because he introduces it. Funny thing is though, what I could do is download Steamboat Willie, and like, for example, if there's a scene in this where someone's watching a TV or something, I can literally have Steamboat Willie playing on the TV that they're watching, and there ain't nothing Disney can do about it. I could literally have Mickey Mouse turn up in Dino-Defenders now, as long as it's the Steamboat Willie one. Which is actually quite handy, because I might need a scene where someone's wearing just like a t-shirt or something, and they can have Mickey Mouse on their shirt. One can have Mickey Mouse, one can have Winnie the Pooh. Paolo says, sad that no one wants to kind of pick up some of the stuff there. Public domain is interesting when you look at what's actually there. Oh yeah, it's loads. It's like when I did the commentary for the 1925 Lost World movie. Because that's in the public domain, I have the whole movie on my YouTube channel with my commentary over it. So, okay, I think the next big one for me then is King Kong 1933. So in 9 years time, I'll be able to have King Kong on this YouTube channel, the whole movie, and do like a group session commentary with people, you know, popping up on screen. I can have the King Kong monster appear in things, and you can sell it. Kong is your biggest blind spot, you only know the movies. Yeah, I only really know the movies as well. Maybe a few bits of other details, but... It's not just Kong. You think like I think the movie The Land That Time Forgot and The People That Time Forgot and Out of Time's Abyss, I think those books are already in the public domain. So you could remake, you could retell those books, or you could sell those books. You could like make artwork for them and sell it and stuff like that. It's like with the third episode of Dino-Defenders, there's that bit where Greg is watching the trailer for the Black Scorpion. Now, the Black Scorpion movie is not in the public domain, but that trailer is. So, using the footage from that trailer, like and re-editing the footage from the trailer to be a little bit more coherent, I made it look like he was watching the movie, but that's all stuff from the trailer. Even artwork, like I've got let me just finish this blue. I'll show you a picture that's in the public domain that I'm going to be using in episode 5. This one by George Baxter. It's called The Crystal Palace and Gardens. Apparently this picture is in the public domain of Crystal Palace with the statues of the dinosaurs, the first dinosaurs. And I think that's a pretty cool picture. I'm going to have it appear in episode 5, Dino-Defenders, in the background somewhere. Paolo says, if I had money, I would like to republish a bunch of the old public domain novels, new artwork for the covers, and maybe some black and white sketches in between, like the illustrated JP novel. Land Before Time. No, Land Before Time. The Land That Time Forgot. I always get those two mixed up. Problem is mainly getting people interested, says Big Shark. Yep, I know that all too well. I found the best way to get, you know, the word spread on something is to convince someone who has a big following to like be interested in it. You know. If you can find someone who already has an audience who like you, who likes what you've got to say or offer, you know, that's the quickest way of getting something noticed. But obviously you don't just want to like create something and then beg for someone to shill for it. You need to actually have passion for the thing you're cultivating as well. Yeah, it has to feel earned. Exactly. Oh, this blooming pen. Now I'm going to do it again. Big Chuck says, like, if you're doing it for yourself, that's one thing, but not reading the room doesn't help. Paolo then follows up saying, yeah, exactly, or at least show them something they didn't know they wanted, like appeal, that sense of like, I see this and I want that now. I was like, I'm making Dino-Defenders just for fun, for like my own, it's like a hobby, just to see if I could do something like this. I did look at like what people were sort of wanting from something like this, which is why when I did my little video explaining why I'm doing it, I was, you know, talking about like the cancelled Chaos Effect cartoon and pre-Cam Cretaceous. You know, we hadn't had a Jurassic cartoon or anything like that, so it was like tapping into that sort of the wants and desires of the old school Jurassic fans who didn't get something like a cartoon series when we were little. But then I didn't, but because it's my own thing, I want it to be like, I don't know, I don't like the word edgy because I don't see Dino-Defenders as edgy, but for lack of a better word, like a bit more interesting. Let's put it that way. Mature. Yeah, well, I don't know. Yes, a little bit more mature, and that's not just because swearing or, you know, naked lady. More the themes. You know what? I'm going to redo that side of the face. I don't want it to be... Oh, there we go, got it. Yeah, Paolo says, yeah, because edgy implies it being done for the sake of being gratuitous or indulging, versus it kind of grounded, very ground set. It's also, oh my god, how thick that line is. Yeah, but it's also like, I'll be honest, there are times when I don't quite know what the exact messages I'm getting across with Dino-Defenders. And I think that's what's making me keen to keep going with it. Like, I've got this story in my head, I know where I want to take it, but there's no, like, conflicting emotions I have to where this story has eventually ended up. So that's what's made it interesting for me. Now, whether that translates into Dino-Defenders meaning absolutely bugger all, I don't know. Oh, I got numb bum. But there's got to be something in there of worth, I feel. No, that's the wrong one, wrong layer. I think if the work is vague enough, I think fans will be able to come up with a reasoning. A lot of designs are something you find on old magazine covers. Oh, the pulp comics, yeah. Paolo says, like, at least for me, seeing where the series is going, I have a feeling it has to do with the island's past and the archaeological site. Well, I can tell you now, Paolo, that it's not an island. They're in South America. the Amazon way. I can get why, because you're not the only one who's for. Big Shug says, I don't get where people get the island. Well, I do, because I've not drawn any location anywhere else. So it's like all they've seen is jungle, and it's all very Jurassic Park looking. So of course they're gonna, assume island. Obviously, if you read the dialogue, they talk about the South American or local South American governments and certain species of big cat that only exist in South America and stuff like that. But yeah, the what else did you say? You didn't just say island. You said the archaeological site. Yeah, well, the story definitely has something to do with that. But it's like what the overall. It's no, I don't know. It's weird because I'm like making it up as I go along, and I have been for the most part since day dot. Like I've not written a script or anything like that. It's just like it's almost like what am I conjuring up? What mystical spells am I toying with when I make this series? Is one way of putting it. What witchcraft? I know there's definitely a personal aspect that I've added into the story from my own personal life, because they say like write what you know. There's certain scenes coming up in episode 5 that I have deliberately gone, I want to add that in because that relates to how I'm feeling and what I would do given situations. So there is a little bit of personality of mine put into character decisions and stuff. I can tell that much, but I don't know what that actually ultimately means for everyone else. We'll just have to see. Definitely hard to stick with a single story, especially when you're developing it and new ideas come about. Yeah, in certain ways, because there's some things from episode 1 that have like weren't concrete when I was doing episode 1, but then I've really lent into them. So like for example, in episode 1 you see these ancient pillars, and Rose has got that like marble stone statue of like a T-Rex in her living quarters, and when I was painting that I was like just decorations for the underground lair, and I wanted to have like sort of an ancient feel to it, so I was like, oh, we'll have these like Roman pillar looking things and that sort of thing. And then when I'm doing episode 4 or episode 3, no, episode 2, sorry, in the middle of episode 2 I'm like designing the map for the entire base, and then I'm like, well, what if there's this like ancient pyramid, and then that whole storyline is birthed out of that, whereas before that wasn't the case. but it seems to have fit really nicely. What am I doing now? That's it. Paolo says it's always nice to have a bit of the author being said into the story, not in a self-insert way, but their experience and interpretation of an event and their life manifesting in the story. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing with some certain things in this. There's even been things like song lyrics, like I've been listening to a song and I'm like, oh, I wanna, those lyrics are so good, I'll add them into the series. So some of you might not have picked up on that, but there's like certain dialogue in episodes where a character will say something and it's like they're direct lyrics from a song that I'm listening to when I'm like editing. Got some Alien Ant Farm ones coming up in episode 5. But the whole discussion about AI art and how it like stealing artwork from other people, you know, to make its own art when someone puts in a prompt or whatever. Humans have been doing that forever, you know, passing stories on from one another, and that's how, you know, it's what that you do with that information and how you tailor it or reform it, reshape it to like tell something. That's where it's interesting. So like even down to, like I said, like song lyrics, I've been going, oh, I'm going to use that because that'd really emphasize what I'm trying to say with this. Palette says, I think you should eventually do a comic book version of Dino-Defenders Extreme. Would love to have that on my shelf. Well, if I manage to burn some DVD copies of the series, then you will have it on your shelf. I will come around to your house and I will physically put it on the shelf myself. Then I'll do a big fart and leave. I think I'd like someone else to do the comic book version, if there ever was one. Now let's say, for example, a miracle happens, Dino-Defenders gets like a lot of interest from publishing companies. I highly doubt will ever happen. But let's say it did. You know, I'd be like, okay, well, as long as you don't change anything in the story, find your artist. So let someone have fun with it. Underslipping some tie-in Dino-Defenders Extreme ads. Oh yeah, you definitely get the like Fizz Milk advert on there. Big Show says, I think the only pain would be redubbing the text, lining it up. Well, on that note, I've been thinking about this. So when I come to do the big final version of Dino-Defenders, I feel like there might actually be some major dialogue changes. And that may just change the story. So, in certain ways. I've got this. I feel like the dialogue especially in episode 2, maybe a bit too robotic. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't seems too paint by numbers. I need it to flow and have a bit more personality to certain events, and it needs to feel a little bit more real. Big Show says, "Oh boy, a special edition." No, not even a special edition. Like the edition, the main that like it'll be the actual version of Dino-Defenders. So once that's out, purge all the episodes you've been watching from your mind. They're not even the final version. That's basically what I'm saying. Paolo says you're going to George Lucas DDX. Now, I've said on previous streams, basically, like, all what you've seen so far, all the chapters I've released, everything, has all been work in progress. Like, the film version, when I glue everything together and the story is done, that's the final version. Like, even Luke, the composer, has said he wants to redo everything from the beginning to the end. So I said to him, well, what we'll do is, part of me's thinking of doing this instead of releasing chapter 5, like just start work instantly. Once I've got like chapter 5 finished, just then start work on the final thing. So I'm not just like getting Luke to compose an entire episode that will be pointless a few months afterwards when I release the big version or whatever. Or maybe even not even a few months. I don't know how long it's going to take to make that version, but or the actual thing. But he wants to rescore the whole thing as well, because he's learnt a lot in his process. Like, he said he looks at episode 1 and sort of feels the same way that I do about certain frames in there, where I'm like, oh, I could paint that better, or that needs more animation, or this, that, and the other. So he wants to do the score again, and I'll be honest, I kind of welcome that, because obviously there's certain aspects of the story that are going to need a musical change as well. So, and if the dialogue changes, that changes the timing of things, so the music that we already have established goes out of sync. So basically, in the episodes you've been watching so far, it's been a temp score. Do you want to change the opening sequence? I do want to change the opening sequence, yeah. I'm not adding a proboscis monkey into this series. They can stay away from my beloved. Where does that look lighter? Oh, bugger. I was using the Megaraptor's eye for the colour skin here. Idiota. So they're both green. Luckily I caught that. I was like, why does it suddenly go up in lightness? This is also my nod to sort of Godzilla in a way, very subtly, because I put them behind the building so they look imposing. So they're not in shot fully. They're gonna be fighting, and the camera's gonna follow, and the house will be in the foreground, moving. And they're going to be fighting behind it, so it's like Godzilla fighting behind the buildings or whatever. It's that kind of thing. Give a sense of scale. Let's see, how do they look coming in? That's gonna with the white layer on. Trying to visualize. This frame is gonna come in like this. They're gonna come in quick like this, like that, and then get a dust burst there. They circle one another. aiming for. Right. I might just add the lines. Oh god, what's going on with the streaming chat? I don't see it. See how we go. I'm going to do the lines. The M9. And then I might call it quits for the day. As I said, I definitely need to jump back into my Mega Raptor Mini. I got started on it basic assembly and started working on the feet, but then stopped because I had to work on other parts for photography of my game. Ooh, your first mini project of the new year. That'd be cool to see. Do the Mega Raptor. I also deliberately changed the scale of these guys behind this house here, just so it will, if any of these size fanatics start thinking they're going to bring that their sort of size debates or whatever to Dino-Defenders, they'll tear their hair out trying to work this out. are suddenly really big. Power scalers, yeah. They would make quite an interesting villain for a Pterodome episode, the power scalers. Paolo says, have you discussed the next personal project after Dino-Defenders Extreme? Maybe not like an animation, but some other medium. I feel like you could tackle a really fun kaiju retro monster story. And hello, Galinho Felaju. I hope I pronounced that right. He says, funny dinosaur. Ha ha ha. Yes. My next project after Dino-Defenders is a break. Just concentrate on playing video games. PS2 games for the channel. No plans for any stories or anything. Got a killer one for Jurassic, but story for another time, we hope. That's the only other big project that I've got in my head that I'd like to work on. I'm hoping Dino-Defenders will help shape the brand around the channel. Color. YouTube poop Dino-Defenders Extreme. Yeah, that's my next project. Defacing my own creation. It's funny to think I've got so many more frames of these guys to do. Barely scratched the surface. Might get the right green this time. I mean, what I'm working on right now with this specific frame is basically what I've been waiting to get to since the beginning, since the very beginning. And I think I have to remember that to give myself a little internal boost of like, oh yeah, keep going, keep going, keep going. Because, you know, when I started Dino-Defenders Extreme, I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait to get to the dinosaur battles and the real thick, meaty part of the story. And we kind of crossed a lot of that with episode 4, with whole like the reveal of the pyramid and whatnot. And now we're into sort of the action, where it's pretty much all systems go. There's still a few talky scenes in episode 5, well, a fair few talky scenes, should I say. Probably the most talky scenes are in episode 5, but like most of it's like a lot of it's on the move, like there's things happening. So it's good to finally sort of be there, you know. I can often forget that, you know, because I've been working on it so long. I have to take stock of how far I've come in the story and what I'm drawing. Slowly but surely bringing to life this awesome clash between two titans. Wunderbar. I guess I have to remind myself, because I've got like a song playing in the background where there's a woman saying "getting nowhere," and it's like subliminally telling myself that I'm sucking. I'm pumping my brain with the message of getting nowhere. So it's like, it's not true. Look where you are, Jack. Look what you're doing. You've finally got to the Megaraptor Megalosaurus battle. I felt that a lot pre the time before the Calypso versus the Megalosaurus battle. You know, the robot, or the mech suit, should I say? I was like, how am I going to animate that? I had no idea how I was going to tackle it. And now we're sort of well beyond that now. Yesterday's news. Right, so I'm going to do the last bits of colour on this, then I'm going to end the stream there. I think that's a good place to stop. And we just need all these years spent finally paying off. Yeah. I was actually toying with the idea, and I've scrapped this idea. I'll just give you that little spoiler. But at one point the other night, I was like, this is going to take... Episode 5 is taking so long. And it will do, because I've got so much stuff going on elsewhere that I'm only doing this when and where I can. And I've already done so much in the story so far of episode 5 that I'm like, should I go back to the original idea and split episode 5 into 6 episodes, like, rather than chapter 5, make it 6. But then there's something that I wanted to introduce into the story that I was like, I don't want that to be like, I introduce it at a certain point in the story, and I don't want to like have the next chapter be all of that. I'd rather it just be all one thing, so you experience it as one sort of final hurrah. So it's still going to be one now. I'm basically just sticking with my plan of gunning to the end. Cool. Yeah, I don't need a part 6. Yeah, I was seriously considering it. Anyway, there we go. So that's what we're going to do for today. Hope you guys enjoyed watching the stream. I'll be back at some point. I might not be back for a long time because the baby might have arrived. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed watching this, and I will see you guys. Guys. See you later, guys. Bye, guys. Guys. Bye, guys. Bye. Guys.
Discuss this thing sanely, huh? Look, I tell you what. You go your way, and I'll go mine. Live and let live. Right? Right. Now what? Brother, what a way to run a railroad. Now, as I was saying...